You need to try and pick off the units as. Look at the shields on the mark.
Oh my god, the ball is gonna
Hey everybody, I am Artosis. Alongside me is Tasteless. How you doing, Tasteless?
I'm doing good, man. How are you doing?
I am doing excellently because I get to cast NightEnD, our red Protoss in the top right, against Tarson, our blue Terran in the bottom left. And I actually really like both these guys. Two of the most friendly, nice guys in esports.
Oh, absolutely. We got NightEnD from Romania, Tarson from Poland. Both these guys have a lot of experience in RTS esports before StarCraft 2, so it's good to see them duking it out here today.
Yeah, NightEnD is actually a player a lot of people don't really know from Warcraft 3 and does a loop-de-loop on that pylon.
Yeah, look at that.
That probe's pocket is full of cozy.
Little figure skating around the pylon there.
Yeah, but he was a player a lot of people didn't really know. He didn't get to hit a lot of tournaments. In fact, his first tournament, I got to invite him out in Warcraft 3 in South Korea, and a lot of people were saying, you know what, this guy's actually really good. He just, from Romania, has some visa issues from time to time. But here he is. He's shown some promise in StarCraft 2. Every now and then he's up at the top of a tournament.
Yeah, Romanian esports players sometimes do have visa problems entering other countries. Ukrainians as well.
Yeah.
Luckily, things have changed a little bit over time, and of course those players have adapted a little bit, so they get a little bit more prepared.
Well, by now, White Raw is in diplomat mode. I mean, he probably goes through the fast line at the airport, you know?
Well, we see that our Protoss did scout really early here, so he's going to see exactly what the Terran's up to right away. The first thing he wants to look for is the Terran going to get a second gas? He sees one has been taken so far, the orbital has to come next. And from there he's going to take another peek and basically get a better idea of what's going on. Our Terran electing to scout a little bit later, but he will have extra minerals because of that.
Yeah, and kind of makes sense. You don't get the stalk route too quick. As you see the gateway not even done yet. A Zealot never going to catch a high-level SCV. Of course, those low-level SCVs, they get caught. Ooh, look at this! We have a pylon, a semi-offensive pylon, blocking any possible add-on from that barracks. And yeah, I love that, Tasteless, because here's what you do. Notice how that Marine is not attacking. You're probably thinking to yourself, hey, why is he... Oh, he cancels. But anyways, if you just leave it there, then the Marines go back to attack it. You send your probe up the ramp, you get a free scout, and that's easily worth the 100 minerals in that case.
Yeah, well, I mean, one thing he's doing as well is he's denying a tech lab, which if it was going to be used for a Reaper, the Reaper's going to get out much later.
Yeah.
Or upgrades. Yeah. Like concussive shell.
And I have no beef against spending a good 100, maybe even 150 minerals in the early game to really get a feel for what your opponent's doing as Protoss.
Well, pylons can be used not just for economics, but for offense and intel as well. I mean, they're very cheap. They build themselves, and they can be made anywhere.
That's very true. They build themselves.
They do. They warp themselves in from IR.
Yeah, I don't understand the mechanics of the physics, of the sciences, of the whatever you call it, of Protoss, but that is the way it is, Tasty.
Well, now they were warping in from IR before.
But it has to be from their...
Where are they coming in?
It has to be Shakuras.
Is it Shakuras?
And this is Shakuras Plateau, so they should warp in a bit quicker, in my
opinion. They're probably
a
little bit down the street, over there.
It's like the pylon factory is just to the left of Shakuras' plateau.
Well, somewhere there's a little pylon workshop for Tosis. This all comes from somewhere,
They have little probe elves with their probe elf hats on. They're chained to the post so they can't get away.
Don't be fooled. They're,
Santos
other pylon
is whipping them and everything.
Don't be fooled by any of that other old mythology,
No.
That's where the probes come from. It's not that mom and dad, buy the crystals at, Toys R Us, man.
No, man.
No, that's not
the way it
realistic.
goes down. Alright, so we do see a Banshee's in production, a quick Nexus, and as we see on the production tab, Cloak for Tarson. So will NightEnD make a Robo very soon? If he doesn't make it very soon, this Cloaked Banshee might do too much damage to recover from. This is the risk of not going for a very fast Observer.
Yeah, no Robo, no Forge. He could be in trouble. That's why this build from Terran is so strong, is because if Protoss doesn't prepare for it, you just lose. You can't just do a DT rush.
And
here it is.
Yeah, there is that Robo. So he should be getting some observers out now. Will he make one observer or two observers? Will he send? Of course, the first observer will be sent right to Terran's base. But if that's too far away and the Banshee gets there, that can be problematic as well. So you have to have plans for that. The Banshee moving out along the bottom side of the map does not want to be scouted till he gets there.
Okay, he's in pretty good position here. Our Protoss is.
Yep.
He looks like he's aware of the possibility of this rush occurring.
Yeah, has some stalkers in some intelligent locations preparing for the Banshee. And here the Banshee comes tasteless.
Cloak is almost done.
Yeah, he timed this out pretty well, giving it a nice flight path so that it would get in here as Cloak finished. And here he goes, 1 probe, 2 probe.
And it looks like it should be 3 here. No, he's going to go for a sentry.
Interesting choice. And just going to damage all the sentries. 1 sentry does go down. And I'm not sure how much more is he going to get. He does get that second sentry, so killing 2 sentries for a Banshee, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
You know, I think if he shot more probes, it might have been better.
I tend to agree with you. I mean, killing off 200 worth of gas of sentries is nice, but they take a lot of hits. You can kill a lot of probes in that time. But anyways, second Banshee is coming out. Trying to sneak in with this first Banshee once again. Nope, not going to happen.
A little bit premature there. Yeah, a little bit premature there with the second Banshee dipping in there. Now here comes our second Banshee.
And this Banshee going to get a few probe kills, but will it be taken out by these stalkers?
Oh,
man! And
he gets away.
Yeah. All right, a couple more gates going up. Notice everything has stabilized for NightEnD. He's got his Robo Bay. And over here we just have pretty standard by Tarson. He's getting his siege mode and some siege tanks. Looks like he's going to go for a little bit of a Korean-style siege tank marine. And that's just a good unit composition, Tasteless. You know, you can try to hit timing pushes, or you can play a more defensive game. Siege tanks in siege mode are really good, and marines shore up everything they don't kill very quickly.
Yeah, and it looks like for the Protoss is in pretty good shape. He didn't lose a ton of stuff. He lost, what, I think 4 probes total back there between the 2 Banshees. He did lose 2 sentries. But, that's not a bad trade considering that the Protoss did get the expansion up more quickly.
And he does have 2 Banshees with cloaks still. He did not lose them. The Observer moving out, and we did see a Raven making earlier. So there is always the possibility of sniping Observers and recloaking those Banshees and causing a huge headache for Protoss.
Well, the Raven is never a bad idea. It's such a good unit. You can do so much with it, especially with the point defense drone. If you go into Banshee, obviously the most logical move for Protoss is to make Stalkers.
Yeah.
So if you follow that up with a Raven, you're punishing them for then making those Stalkers. Because point defense drone is so good against Stalkers.
There you go, man. That's it.
There you go. Solve the game.
All right, yeah. Raven, man. Never more. Well, you should always have more. It's a great unit. We do see that it's just kind of a macro mode. We have some blink going up, some +1 attack for NightEnD. Ooh, and a Templar Archive stasis. Nice catch there.
Thank you. Well, it's going to be a little bit tough if he does go like Templars off 2 bases. He's going to end up with a lot of Zealots.
Yeah.
And the Observer did get sniped, and again, that's one of the reasons why a Raven is so good in this case. The Marines can just catch up to an Observer. It's not a fast unit. Okay, here come the Banshees again, moving in here.
He does have an Observer nearby, but it does not move down too quickly. And, I want to be just slightly critical. If I was going for the super fast High Templar cases. Oh, look at this! Blink's in! And, well, I guess that solves why Blink is going to be useful, but as you were saying, he's going to have a lot of Zealots because he's already getting Psystorm, so he may want to get through Charge pretty quickly here. Charge is a very useful upgrade against this style of play. Against Marine Siege Tank, if you have a ton of Charge Zealots, you can break it, but Blink Stalker's not going to be as helpful.
Yeah, Blink Stalker's good for harassing, good when you're ahead, basically, so you can continue to punish your opponent. Terran's moving out with a pretty scary push, and, yeah, I don't know if Blink Stalker's going to be that necessary. Let's find out.
Yeah, see that. Well, he forces a point defense drone, which is actually really nice to do out there. It's step 1 of being Gosu. And, some poor force fields there, only trapping a few Marines out front.
I don't know about going into this corner. I think he could have gone into the main or Well, there's a lot of different places could have gone that's not there.
Yeah.
The siege tanks are closing in here.
He is trap tasteless. Perfect movement of the siege tanks by Tarson. And he's going to move right up. Uh-oh. NightEnD. He is between a hard place and the ocean. And here he goes, blinking up, trying to target down some siege tanks. His zealots cannot quite get in there. No high Templars yet. Just Tarson hitting a very sweet spot timing.
That's
NightEnD
it.
not prepared for it.
GG.
So Tarson up 1-0 and shortly on to game number 2.